Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to discuss to you or share to you the changes that I will be making into my Arch, Fedora and Debian-Hyprland script and also into my Hyprland-dots. Now the first thing that I wanted to discuss is my Hyprland-dots, the changes that I will be making. Now the reason why that I have created these Hyprland-dotfiles is because I wanted to have one repo only for the dot files for my Fedora install script, Fedora, Debian or Ubuntu and Arch Linux. So I have already prepared the changes. It's already here. I'm just gonna push, but I'm not pushing it yet. So as you all probably aware, I have shared before my Arch Hyprland, that's Hyprland before. That's also the where is that now? The Fedora Hyprland, and of course, last but not the least, my Debian-Ubuntu Hyprland install script. That's the last one. However, now that I have shared 3 scripts, it's a little bit difficult, or it's kind of too much work for me to maintain just a dots file. So let's say there are some improvements on the one dot files, then I have to implement and go in also into my other Hyprland install script. Now that's okay. However, I have made some errors before and I really want to avoid that. And no, this here. Yeah, there are 2. Now the thing is, I was thinking I need to have just a centralized dot files, so that whenever you run the script, it will just download the dot files from one repo. So any changes or improvement that I will be doing, it will be all reflect all throughout 3 of the distros. That's the of course Arch, Fedora and the Debian or Ubuntu. Now the irony here is that right now I'm even applied it to my Gentoo, and now I'm recording on my Gentoo, just so you know. Don't worry, I will be supporting I will be supporting all my scripts on my distro. I have it all in my system. At least in here I have the Gentoo in Hyprland and Fedora, and I have also on my on my other mini PC the Debian Ubuntu. So don't worry about that. I'm still also checking. Now, one of my main reasons is that I already mentioned to you, it's just a little bit tedious. It's just a little bit too much work for me. So, and also there are some errors, a big chance of errors that I will be making. So now here's the caveat. Expected that once you use this repo, initially you will not have wallpaper, especially if you just install from Arch or Fedora or the Debian Ubuntu Hyprland. Now that's okay. That's because if you look into my dot files now, not that one, I have not set any of the wallpaper initially, and that's okay, and that's good, because whatever changes you made, for example, if you're using the SWW, the last wallpaper that you have load, let's say I will load now something like this. It's actually, I really like this wallpaper. Now this last wallpaper that you load, once you reboot or log out, it will stay there. Now that's the good thing. So you don't have to go into the exec.com and then set the wallpaper, which is one good thing. Now in Debian or Ubuntu Hyprland install script, I remember that I have offered the sww for installing. But if you don't opt for the sww, you can still use the swbg for your wallpaper. You just need to go into, where's that now? To the config, hyper configs, on your .config, hyper config accent.com. Then you can just uncomment the swbg part, and then of course comment the sww. Now that's one thing. Another thing is, if you have installed this, I believe, no, if you install it from my scripts, the Arch, Fedora, and the Debian install script, all my install script, except for, which I will discuss it later on. So if you install it from there, then you will get the latest Hyprland-dots that I will be pushing it to the repo. Now, if you want to get the old or previous dots, let's say on my install script, of course, I will be putting it here on the releases. So once I release the version 1.1 or 1 and so on, then it will be on my releases, so you can just download in there. Now on my Arch-Hyprland, let's just go here. On my install script, for example, my latest Arch-Hyprland install script is called Hyprland v4. Now I have changed it now to Arch-Hyprland. I did not touch the Hyprland v4 because it's still connected to my one of my videos. Instead, I have created another one. It's called Arch-Hyprland. So this is, again, it's a lot easier for me to track the changes or any of the things. So let's say somebody requests for support. Say, okay, so which one was it? So now you got the point that having a centralized Hyprland-dots is much easier. So going back to the Hyprland-dots, I can, where's that now? Here. I will be, please go through the Hyprland, I mean the README, this Hyprland-dots. Now, this Hyprland-dots, for those who have or are using my dot files, who have already installed the Hyprland using my script, you can just copy it, the Hyprland-dots. I made a copying instruction here. I created also a automatic script and also some guideline for the manual. Now I'll change this wording here, a manual copying of the configuration. Again, if let's say I will have a big changes, I will be putting it in my releases. So let's say after a few weeks or a few days or a few months, I will be changing to, let's say, AGS bar instead of waybar. I will be putting it into the releases. However, because now there's different distros in there, I can't really automate it using my Hyprland-dots. I can, however, edit it to or integrate it into my individual install scripts. So I hope you got the point that I was making here. So now going back to the Hyprland-dots, once you installed, I already mentioned, you will have no wallpaper. So again, you just need to press that will be super Control W. Then you will get the selection of the wallpaper. Initially the wallpaper will be only this, the Mecha Nostalgia. Just select one wallpaper, or actually just press the dark and light switch button here. Then the last wallpaper loaded will be the wallpaper that it will pop up once it's already installed. Okay, I hope now you get the point. Another thing is, why is that the Hyprland-dots? On my Hyprland-dots, I am constantly updating the changelog. So if you look at my readme here, to easily track the changes, I will be updating the changelogs. Once you click here, you will see here the changes that I have made together with the date. So for example, here on my initial one, I have shared now a lot of the waybar layout. Now I will be demonstrating that to you. And then of course, this last one, you see these small lines in there. You can see it here. Let me just increase the font so you can easily see. So now you see here the lines properly. I did not set any color here. This is just automatic, done by the waybar. So, and then just another thing, I know that for a desktop you don't have the backlight and you don't have, of course, the power, the battery, and so on. The first thing that you can do is go to, now it's too big. Let me just put it back again. Go to your .config and then go to waybar configs, and then change this config default, because this is now the default layout. And then you can just, let's say you don't have a battery, of course, now you put a double / and then there. So once you save default, then you will not have any more here showing, or at least on the desktop you will have 2 or 3 lines extra here. And that's the one that you can do. You can, of course, if you are in desktop and you know that you don't need the battery and backlight, and the backlight, of course you can just delete this module or on the setting. Let me just put it back again. Okay, so now going back to the changes of the initial one, I was just playing around the other day, and I thought, oh, okay, so why not I offer you a lot of styles. Let's go back there. So that will be Super Alt W. Now let's say top and right panel. Now you can see here the changes, and then of course bottom and right, and so on. Now I do apologize for those with lower resolution, because I have a 1440p, because I actually saw that there was an issue that was stated on my, I think, Fedora. Let's just look. I think it was on my Fedora Hyprland. He submitted an issue. Yeah. Then you saw in here, see, this is a little bit too small. Now, don't worry, I will guide you now. What you can do is you go to your .config, hypr, scripts, and then let's say you want to change the width of the change layout menu. This is the one, this one, change layout menu. Now you can change here the width and the height. So let's say I want to increase. This is, by the way, in percent. So you just need to play around. Save, and now you see you got a higher, taller menu. If you want, you can also play around with, let's say, wider, but a little bit wider. There you go. Now you can see, now you can play around here and do the changes whatever you made. So go around, go through this .config, hypr, and script. Now, for those who have been using my Hyprland-dots, probably you already have noticed that my hypr folder don't have anymore this wlogout, wofi-based, all these folders in here. Let's say go back to this, let's say my previous one. See here, this is the folders of my hypr folder. Now that's one of the changes that I have, or a lot of the guys were requested, either privately or they just didn't really tell me directly, but they are just telling me that, oh, your hypr folder is too complicated, too hard. So that's the reason why when I create this Hyprland-dots, where is that now? Hyprland-dots, I made sure that now all of these have their own folder. So let's go back to that config. So the waybar here, wlogout, wofi is here now outside the hypr folder. So I hope you appreciate that. So let's say you wanted to try a waybar from the from other .files who are sharing. You can just rename this, or if you want, you can delete, and then just put the waybar folder into here. So the moment that you log out or you restart the waybar, then it will apply the waybar that you have downloaded from other sources. Okay, I do apologize. I forgot to add something. By the way, if you are using if you have been using already my .files from my previous install script, you can safely upgrade to these .files. Now, the thing is, and the good thing about it is, I will be making a backup. It will back up, of course. The best thing is to back up first before you change anything. So the copying instruction here is to create the backup. Now I will demonstrate that to you now. So just copy this, this automatic. Now this is now on my .config. You will see here later on that it will create a backup. Cloning, hopefully it's not there already on my, yeah, it's not there. Now for updating, just observe here, it will create a backup. Now of course it will ask for the keyboard layout. If you don't, if the layout is wrong, then you can just type in here the proper keyboard layout. And see here, it creates the, see here, backup, backup, backup. It creates a backup on the existing folders that it creates. Now let's say after you, of course, changes and you already made the changes into your previous dots, the best thing is it's in the hypr backup. So you can just copy it here on the hypr backup. Okay. I believe I have covered now the changes that I made. How long was this now? I don't know. So once I publish this video, I will be pushing the changes on the Fedora and Debian. As you can see in here, I have already a 347 or more than 300, yeah, 347 changes. Now again, going back to the Arch-Hyprland, I am not abandoning my old, what do you call this? I'm not abandoning my old Hyprland for Hyprland install script for Arch. That's the version, yeah, I think I have a lot. Version 2, 2.1, version 3, 3.5, all that kind of things. I will not be abandoning. However, I will not be updating it. The only one that I will be updating now for the Arch-Hyprland is this one. Now this is just a copy of my Hyprland v4. The install step will be the same. However, like I said, I will be only now updating this once I publish this video. So I hope you understand. Anyway, I hope you got my message. And if you do have a question, please do not hesitate to leave a comments. And also, if you want, you can join my Discord. Please join to my Discord. But please, once you join to my Discord, once you ask a support or question, please let me know, or at least state your distro so I know what went wrong. Or of course, you can always open issues on the GitHub. Now I do have one request, that I know my .files, they are not really, how can I say, they are not really really for rising. But if you notice, I'm not really into the rising part. But if there's of course improvement or changes that you wanted to implement, please, you're welcome. You're welcome to create a changes, pull requests. As you can see here, Dark Eddie or Daniel, he already submitted before some changes, and of course I'm open to all changes. Anyway, this is it. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you got my message. Again, for those of you who haven't subscribed, please subscribe. This helps me a lot. And of course, please share my content. I do hope that my channel, that I am giving you some good things. And I'll see you again in the next video. Have a good day, guys. Bye.